Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Owoleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Once again, thank you for joining us on this dialogue with Barrister Austin Manta, a very senior legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. Barrister, thank you once again for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. We shall be talking. We have several things to talk about, but let's start with the United States of America. We all know, I think that is the matter arising right at the moment. That is the global. That is what everybody's on the lips of every well-meaning or every dignitary globally. In fact, the entire Donald Trump has actually thrown the entire globe into a kind of some excitement, some just mixed feelings. Some are excited, while some are just a kind of scared of their various respective countries' future. What is your take? We are going to be talking in details about some few things about the new president, Donald Trump. Before we go into that, can you give us just your thoughts about the inauguration and the man, the president, the personality himself, Donald Trump? What is your take? What is your feeling about what the new era? I think that's what I would call it.
Thank you very much, JIBRIN, for that question and the topic. You and me have discussed some part of American politics on this show in the past, and we all agreed then that America was in decline, and this was the last chance to save the United States, and that if Americans missed the opportunity of electing Donald Trump, then the downward slide will become almost permanent. I think by and large, the American people felt the same as we felt, although a lot of people within the US do not see the decline, but all over the world, the rest of the world was seeing American decline, and we are taking advantage of it. Some were praying, some will be happy to see the total decline and even collapse of America. But a lot of people who look up to America as the greatest nation, as a nation blessed by God, we are apprehensive that if this moment was not seized, then a lot would change in America. Happily for us, Donald Trump was elected. All controversies, all doubts, and all questions that would have attended this election were put by a win in the Electoral College and a win in the popular vote. So that has quietened any issue that could be raised, any doubt that could be raised. He has now ushered in, or I would say, he's now applying some brakes to the decline of America. The things that brought America to its preeminence, the liberal establishment that have governed in the past have sought to cast them away. They have thrown away God, they have thrown away family, they have thrown away moral values. These are the things that gave rise to America. They have thrown away hard work in return for spoon feeding of grown-up adult people. It is the hard work, the determination, and the nation under God that brought America to its preeminence in the world. A lot of us saw that, the world saw it. Suddenly you have some people, perhaps it is said that nations or empires collapse when people become too comfortable, when they become very rich. They begin to think it is by their effort alone, by their might and effort alone that they got that far. So the things, the God and other things that brought them together made them effective and powerful, they start to remove and cast away one by one. That was the position that America was. And they went far. And it came to the point that if this election, which was very consequential in American history, if it went the other way, I doubt if America would have regained the position it had achieved over 2 centuries. Now, Donald Trump has come mercifully. Most of us are happy that he's back, that he will apply brakes to America's decline, and he will restore confidence. He will restore respect and even fear in America. Because if you are powerful, if you are rich, you must be respected as well as feared. That was how America was. But now we are happy that he's back, and we are seeing from the policies that he is taking that he means what he says. He's not the typical politician that make promises then do something else. He is somebody that if he says, I want to do this, we see it in action. He fulfilling the promises that he campaigned on. All the executive orders he has so far signed points unequivocally to the fact that he is a man of his word, and he wants to fulfill what he said.
Thank you so very much. In fact, in a very, just within a few minutes, you covered everything and you covered it perfectly. Thank you so much. And that is exactly the reality. However, you made mention of the decline. The decline was felt externally, not internally. Barrister, honestly, I don't know who you were speaking with. Anyway, maybe you were in touch with the liberals. Even the liberals, everybody felt the negativity of Joe Biden's weak and evil and corrupt government. That is just the reality. We felt the decline. You just mentioned some of the decline, the moral decadence in the society, the family values, everything. The entire decline. You had during the speech when Trump mentioned, gave an executive order to have two genders, strictly two genders, male and female, man and woman, and that is just it. You know, I don't know if you, of course, you've been following. You know the reason why he made that whatever.
Please don't get me wrong. I did not say that it was not felt in America. I said some in America did not see the decline, but I now concluded that mercifully Americans have agreed with us, and we re-elected Trump to put a halt to the decline.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for that correction. And so that is justice. So that being said, I don't need to go into that anymore. You just mentioned something that everybody, that is one thing about Donald Trump. I have always said it. Excuse me, and I will keep saying it, that he is the best president United States ever had. And any well-meaning, and even recently, some politicians I think a couple of them started mentioning the same thing. In fact, the speaker, I think it was the speaker who said, in his lifetime, the best president in his lifetime, the Speaker of the House, a sort of. So people are beginning to admit what I have said earlier, even when he was the first. Why I said it out of being factual, out of objectivity, because look, the man is a politician in a different light, completely. That a politician in a different light that is not of this world. You just mentioned something earlier that this man fulfills when the first time he fulfilled all campaign promises. This time around, we've seen the sign. That is one of the numerous reasons why I am so much in love with this man, because he is not the typical politician who promises and most times, or if not all the time, never gets even close to fulfilling their mandates. So that this man is what he promises during campaign. He will he promised so many things that sometimes even some politicians who are even supportive of him feel they think sometimes that he is probably extravagant, or rather, he's extravagant with promises that he really cannot keep, and that is to tell you how much this man is so not just adventurous but ambitious. He's a naturally ambitious person who promises something that, like you said, he always says what he means and he means what he says. That is what he is. That is the kind of person he is. In the first term, he fulfilled all campaign promises and even did much more than what he promised. And this time around, we have seen it. This is a man that have in 4 days. This is about 4 days. What he has achieved so far in 4 days in true executive fiat is far more than what what's his name, Joe Biden did in 4 years. And that is just it. The thing is that it is he has just done a 180-degree turn from the decline, and the decline was at the highest speed. America was declining. You and I agreed that if Donald Trump does not win or did not win, we agreed before the election that if Donald Trump does not win the election, America will become irredeemably damaged. And thank God, I was so excited. In fact, I didn't go any. I didn't do any business on Monday. I was all in celebratory mood. Honestly, I was glued to my television all day from the beginning to the end. I felt so excited. And majority of Americans are breathing, they are breathing a sigh of relief. This man has really, this second term, we now see the reason why God did not allow him to actually assume power, to return immediately at the second election, during the second election. Because I believe he won that election. It was just rigged out. And I now understand why God allowed him to, because this is Trump couldn't have garnered such kind of not really unanimous, because we still have some dissents, but we have majority right now. You just mentioned it earlier. This is for over 20 years. No Republican has won the electoral vote and the popular vote. In fact, the Democrat Party has for over 2 centuries of this country. The Democrats have almost monopolized that this popular vote of a thing. So for Donald Trump to win popular votes by far, I think it was about 3 to 5 million votes. That was a repudiation of the establishment, repudiation of the Democrats, not just Democrats, but the Republican establishment. Now the Republican Party now is being called the Trump Republican Party. Donald Trump, and that is just really because he has changed everything about the Republican Party. The entire establishment that are together, the Republican, initially we call them rhinos, that they are called the Republicans in name only. They were just doing things like the Democrats. The same thing, they support their whatever, they don't oppose them, in fact, we just give God all the glory for Donald Trump. Now, Barrister, how I don't know if you watched the virtual address he made to the World Economic Forum at Davos. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah. Did you watch that press conference? That address?
Definitely.
I don't know if you have ever watched or heard or read about a president that is as spontaneous and as daring and adventurous as Donald Trump, who is ready to take questions without preparation from anyone on any forum or anywhere. This man has been all over the news, taking, you can imagine, even, I don't know the kind of energy this man has. I don't know if you noticed, you watched the inauguration, watched so many things. I don't know how much you watched. I think you and I spoke and you told me you were watching the whatever. So the whole day, this man was moving from one point to the other, one function to the other, from one venue to the other, the whole day. Even at that, at the end of, I think around 2-3 a.m., he still held press conference. Not really, yes, organic, not planned. That is what he does. A spontaneous press conference. So, Barrister, what's your take on the Davos? You watched Davos or whatever. This man look, do you know what it takes to take questions from one or some of the richest men in the world, richest businessmen in the world? You have the chairman of Total International. You have the chairman of the CEO of Bank of America. Bank of America is the second largest bank in Africa, in America, behind Chase Bank. You have this man, one of the largest banks in the world, that is even larger than Bank of America. A lady there that represented the bank also there. I've forgotten her name. These are top global CEOs that were open, that Trump was open to their questions. I actually asked request for questions from them. Do you know what it means for somebody to actually respond to the real business moguls? And you watched how Trump responded to their questions. So apt, so knowledgeable. The man, whatever. This is a president who knows everything that he is governing. He knows the nitty-gritty. You ask him, that's why he's never afraid. He's well knowledgeable, well educated with government affairs and policies, because these are things he decides himself. He knows the nitty-gritty of anything before he decides to do it. And that is why he is not afraid. He does not fidget. He's not nervous to face the press. He faces the press spontaneously, anytime, anywhere. He is I consider him the most, not even objectively, that is the reality. There is no president that is as transparent as this man. The worst part is that he does not evade questions. He responds and answers all questions, gives answers to every question that you ask. Barrister, what's your take on that?
Well, everything that happened, from the inauguration speech, from the other press statement that he made after the inauguration, the various meetings or outdoor or luncheons that they had, at each of them he made speech. So from the inauguration, from all those, and from the World Economic Forum, it is typical Trump. And it is a sharp contrast to his predecessor, to Biden, who had to be choreographed on every occasion, even the smallest conference or the smallest talking. He had to be choreographed. Questions had to be sent in advance, and they picked and they virtually wrote down what he will say. So Trump is typical Trump. He is not today Trump. It is what he has been saying long before he became president. If you watch him right before he became, long ago, way back, he had been criticizing economic policies, both America
up to about
and
40 years ago. Yeah, of course.
For a long time. These are views he had had for a very long time.
Very consistent.
So when you have those kind of views, when you internalize them and you have been talking about them, on which forum or platform will you not be able to respond to questions? It's not something he came up with today, that he's going to fear that he may misanswer a question. These are issues that he has internalized, he has spoken about, he has criticized for a long time before he became president. Both the American policy, the policy of the EU, the European Union, and the World Economic Forum itself. These are things he has been talking about for a long time. And the American people and the world is seeing the sharp contrast between the past government and this government. For God's sake, this is a mercurial personality that the world has come to know, that he says what he wants to say in the way he wants to say it. There's no diplomatic niceties about the man. He says it the way he wants to say it, no matter whose out is affected. So it's typical Trump. He has not said anything new. It's the things that he has held onto, he has believed in for decades, that he continued to say and continued to preach, and now he wants to put into practice. So nobody really is surprised. The world is only trying to buy into, because they know that there's no other way. They are trying to see how all the big countries, from Britain to Canada to Russia to whatever country, the South, Brazil, and all, they are trying to see how they can align with the current American policy, both economic, world affairs, and otherwise. Nobody is really saying we are going to fight you. They are just trying to align, to put their own destiny, align with the current American policies. Be it in energy. You hear the whole world now, no shouting about global climate.
For where?
I mean, climate change.
He has bolted out of it. He has pulled the US out of it.
Shouting about climate change and all that nonsense. You are hearing it because of what they know he stands for.
Yes.
You can see America sitting on about the largest oil deposits.
Yeah.
But then for some foolish economic policy, they say don't tap it, don't drill the oil. Meanwhile, they are buying the oil from abroad.
Honestly,
and then their economy is being affected by the price that OPEC dictates and other oil producing countries dictate. You are sitting literally on millions and billions of cases of oil. And you say no, because of your environment, you are not going to tap them. Then you are tapping others, and at the same time, telling the other people to also align the economy with your so-called climatic change. So it is a kind of paradox. It's confusing.
Honestly.
But he has come and said, look, we are going to, and that policy, if he drives it home, believe me, is going to be consequential for the world economy.
Of course.
If America should really drill its oil, it is going to really, they will have a bargaining chip that no other country will have. The whole OPEC country, Russia, and other oil producing countries, they are going to really have to crawl on this issue.
Yeah, honestly, you're absolutely right.